You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Welcome back, Sergeant Bob Conklin, Anaheim PD and Cops for Kids. Welcome.
Good morning, Ron. Thank you for the invitation.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have, I must ask though, you know, I saw the smile on your face when I played that Welcome Back, Carter. You must be about as old as me. Maybe not that old.
I recognize it, but can't place it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, something it's better than some because I played it the first time. Josh, Mary, they were in the studio. No idea what
just staring at you.
Yeah, they thought I had lost my marbles, which is probably true, but that was a whole different story. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I might need help with this one. Talk Like a Pirate Day. The closest I've ever come to talking like a pirate is at the Pirates of the Caribbean. But I guess that probably doesn't count. So I think we'll move right along. And having beaten anorexia, National Butterscotch Pudding Day. I like butterscotch pudding. I prefer the whipped cream on top, but that's a whole different story. I don't even know where you get butterscotch pudding anymore. Maybe just give me chocolate. Okay, let's see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to see what the markets are doing today? The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 251 points. That's not exciting. The S&P 500 is down almost 30. NASDAQ down 114. Oil up 97 cents a barrel, 92.45 a barrel right now. And the media still talks. I just love listening to the media. So I told you this morning or yesterday, frequently I do listen to KTLA in the morning amongst other news stations, and they're talking about gas prices going up. And the only comment they came up with was price gouging. They must have gotten a memo from Corinne Jean-Pierre or the administration somehow. Price gouging. Let's see if we can understand how price gouging works. The national average for a gallon of gasoline is $3.88 a gallon. The average in the state of confusion, $5.69 a gallon. What's the difference between the national average and the state of confusion? Oh, yeah, we like taxes. We like fees. We like to vote for the people that give us more taxes and more fees. Think about that. If the rest of the country can be paying $3.88 on average, and I've told you before, our tremendous underwriter, Lori, she's paying $3.40 a gallon of gasoline. Now, you have to be in Louisiana for that, and as she says, why would you want to be in Louisiana? But the bottom line is $3.40 a gallon. If that's what they're paying in Louisiana, does it make sense that it's price gouging by the oil companies? Or is it price gouging from the state of California? That's probably more like it. $5.68 a gallon, $5.70 a gallon. Even over Josh is paying $4.92. So a lot, but not nearly as bad as what we're doing here. Just amazing. Yet, who's talking about these things? They're talking about how great a job Newsom is doing. Maybe he can do the same great job for the rest of the country.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and we hear all of the celebrities going to see the president yesterday, talking about how great a job he's doing. Nice. I like paying high taxes. I like having homelessness increase and having more chaos at the border, fentanyl on the streets, trading hostages, paying ransom. I'll talk about ransom in a minute, but that's a whole different story. So all these things are going on, and that's what's good. Can we get a mean tweet, please? Just maybe a mean tweet. Moving right along. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Oh, today, have you upgraded your phone? iOS 17 is out today. Now I'm going to share with you. I don't think I've even shared. I don't know, Josh. Tell me if I talked about this before, but protect your phone. It's not as safe as they want you to believe it is. They tell you that if you lock your phone, that nobody can get into it. So about 2 months ago, my wife's phone was stolen. I won't say that it was at Trader Joe's in Orange, but it was stolen. And we know exactly where it was. She was watching the person and turned her head for a second. That's all it took. And my son was with her. He calls me and told me what happened. So I went online and shut her phone down. And they said, as soon as the phone gets turned on again, it'll be erased. Blah, blah, blah. Don't believe any of it. Track the phone to Rancho Cucamonga. About 10 days later, on my phone, different phone number, a phone number that I don't give out to hardly anybody. I use a Ring Central. If you call into the radio program, we use a Ring Central line. I don't usually give my phone number out to anybody. Yet these thieves had my phone number and started contacting me, even giving me death threats from China. How did they send me text messages to my personal phone number when they stole my wife's phone? Because it's so secure? Be careful. It's my only message to you. Be careful with what you keep on your phone. Be careful of the security. Hold it. Don't set your phone in the basket, even if you're just wanting to pick up a head of lettuce. Just throw that out there for you. Let's continue on our journey. That was the big news if you're a tech nerd like me. So today we've got the Federal Reserve starts their meeting in Washington. We always watch those because you know my feeling about the Federal Reserve.
Idiot.
Yes,
Such
they
an
are.
Idiot.
They don't watch what's
Idiot.
going on in the future.
Such
They
an
watch
idiot.
what's happened in the past. We already know they've raised interest rates enough to create some havoc. Now, how do I know that they're going to create havoc? They've already told us they plan on cutting rates 4 times next year. So if they know that, why are they meeting and talking about raising rates more this year? Allianz Bernstein said that they're going to take the 10-year treasury, or their forecast is the 10-year treasury next year will be at 2.5. Today it's 4.34. How does that happen? What's the catalyst for that? Well, higher unemployment. We know we're going to see higher inflation because we're watching what's going on gas prices. Now, core inflation takes out food and energy, but have you ever tried to find something that you get delivered to your house or that you eat or that you consume, that you watch, gifts, that doesn't go somewhere on a truck? It's all going to go up because of inflation, which may mean that they may increase interest rates unless they listen to Ron Siegel Radio, and they just reduce their balance sheet, which will have the same effect. So we're just watching all of these things. The commentary after the announcement tomorrow will be what really drives the market, and we'll see what the Federal Reserve has to say. But we're going to watch about 4 different items that the Federal Reserve is coming out with. We talk about that all the time. What are their interest rate projections for 2024? What does their dot plot say? That's what each of the Fed governors and presidents have to say. So we'll be watching for that. Do they think that we've peaked on inflation? And what are their economic forecasts? All that is what we're going to be seeing from the Federal Reserve. And as you know, they're hell-bent on moving prices back the wrong way. So we're going to watch all these things. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, Cops for Kids. We're going to chat about it. They've got an event coming up. Your home equity can offset affordability. What is debt relief? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And if you've been listening to us and during that last segment, we blacked out a little bit. They think that the people that stole my wife's phone from China must have been watching and knocked us off the air or something like that. Don't know how that works, but the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. We don't know APRs. We don't know points paid, points received, just the locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans, 7.194. 30-year jumbo loans, 7.503. 30-year FHA, 6.993. USDA, that's the rural areas, generally no down payment, 7.043. Best loan on the market, has the best interest rate, but you got to earn it. You don't just get this one. 30-year VA loan, 6.769. And if you want, every morning we send out our market update. Try and get it out as early as the news will allow us. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. Let's take a look and see what's going on locally. Let's see what the markets are doing right now in the local area, or let's take a look. We'll get to if this will pop up on my screen this morning. You got to love computers, don't you? So let's see. The 10-year Treasury now is up 2 basis points, 4.336. The S&P 500 down 285. Mortgage-backed securities are down 16 basis points. That means interest rates are going up again. What's driving it? Well, we're really just waiting on the markets. But Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, said consumer spending still remains quite robust and that there are no signs of an economic downturn. People's credit cards are getting maxed out. We've got the highest level of credit card debt in history, and there's no signs of a downturn. Does anybody want to believe that one?
You know better than that.
She's been promoting the economy. Can we believe anything she says? Kaplan, former Dallas Fed president, said that the strength of the economy is weaker than it appears, which we agree with. Both Kaplan and Lacker, former Richmond Fed president, also said the labor market is cooling. So should we believe these Fed folks or Janet Yellen, who used to be at the Fed? Housing starts. We're starting to see some of the housing starts. Permits are okay. Single-family starts, which are the most important, fell 4% last month at a 941,000 unit pace, up 2% year over year. But remember, where there's 941,000 unit pace, we're creating 2 million household formations every year. So we're going to be short just a bit. National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index, which measures builder confidence, fell 5 points to 45, falling beneath 50. 50 is just a break even. That's like the middle ground. So anything below 50 means contraction. All of the internals fell. Current sales fell 6 points. Future expectations fell 6 points. Buyer traffic fell 5 points. Now, interest rates are going to have an effect on all of these things. CoreLogic rental report. Rent prices are now up 3.1% year over year in July, which is down from 3.3% in the previous month. Latest CPI report showed that shelter costs rose 7.3%, which is 4.2% higher than what we can actually see because of the lag effect. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You got a phone, make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. One of my favorite times of the year, we get to chat with Sergeant Bob Conklin from the Anaheim Police Department, speaking about Cops for Kids. And they've got an event coming up. We'll talk about that in a bit. But tell us a little bit about the Cops for Kids program, because it is such a great program.
It is a good program. Cops for Kids was established, I want to say 1960. So our youth programs have been around for decades. And,
longer than me.
Well, yeah.
1960. Okay.
Well, based on some of those sound captions, yeah. But yeah, the goal is to basically give kids an alternative to gangs, drugs, violence, and delinquent behaviors. So 2 of our programs right now, we have the Junior Explorers and Explorers. Basically, if you're in the 7th grade and up, then you can join our program.
Is it going to be only at-risk youth, or is it going to be aspirational youth as well?
All of it.
All of it.
So we do set a bar. So kids that are already have a delinquent past or already somehow involved with gangs and things like that. That's not where we are. We set the bar relatively low. Again, we're looking for like a C average. Kids that have a decent attitude and attendance in school. And then our goal is just help improve them and get them on the career path that they want.
So is this a feeder program to the police departments or law enforcement?
The police department does use it as a recruiting tool in the long run. So I mean, we're talking about kids that are in 7th, 8th grade. And anybody's teenage kids don't even know what they're going to do, tomorrow, or let alone what they had for breakfast. So,
But you know something, when I was a kid, and obviously it was a long time ago in a different day and age. It was firemen and policemen are the two big things that kids wanted to do or be when they grew up.
yeah, and they, a lot of them still have those kind of aspirations. But like I said, they're
It's going to change. I wanted to be a trash truck driver.
Well, no, well, hey, some of these guys make a lot of good money.
Yeah.
So,
There's nothing wrong with trash truck drivers.
No,
That's what I wanted to do. My grandmother went nuts.
yeah, no, that's not bad at all. So, but like I said, these kids, they don't know what they want to do at this age. So our job is just to kind of open up the envelope a little bit, open up the umbrella, let them see all the opportunities that they have, after high school and into college, and help get them ready to be competitive for those hiring processes.
What do the explorers do? What do they actually do? I know I see them out, doing traffic control sometimes, but what is their main thing that they're doing as a regular basis?
Again, these kids at a very young age, we teach them how to give back to their community. So most of their time is spent at community events, both within the city of Anaheim and throughout Orange County. Sometimes we even venture out into LA County to help them out with things. But that's primarily how they give back, is through volunteerism. So we assign them a bunch of community events throughout the year. I think last time I tallied, we were attending 80 events a year. So hundreds and hundreds of community service hours. And again, it's just teaching the kids that there's more to just academics and athletics, and that giving back to your community and influencing your peers in a positive way to make good decisions is that's the premise that we use the programs for.
We need some of that for adults.
Every one of them. Yes.
Right. I mean, because, you look at it so many times that people have gotten away from the idea of serving the community, community service. And it's a shame that we've gotten away from that, but maybe if organizations like this can start setting a foundation to get us back to where we should be.
And it's so important for our chief, Rick Armendariz, and our mayor, Ashley Aitken, and our city manager, Jim Vanderpool. It's so important for them that even during COVID, when programs across the city were being shut down, we were allowed in a minimal capacity to do what we had to do, whether it be Zoom or whatever else, to keep the program running. And so the fundraiser, Anaheim Confidential, allows us, because I mean, it's a nonprofit. It's a voluntary program. So our budget through the city and the police department is small. So we rely heavily on the fundraising to help fund everything that they do.
Which that's a whole nother topic when you look at the way budget issues are going right now, and so many places are having budget shortfalls. The concept of trying to get any money from cities to help with organizations and things like this, even though they're needed, it's kind of hard. So the fundraising is really important.
Well, and you look at everything that's happening, across the country, as far as, any occupation you look at, there are struggles financially. So, corporations and even government entities are struggling at times with their budgets. And the one thing that we want to do is provide a constant variable for these kids, so that even during down times, when the budget is bad, we have those funds available to keep this program going and continue our weekly meetings, and let these kids know that they're part of a long-term family.
So when these young folks go out and do these events, you said like 80 a year, do the organizations that they're supporting, do they help support the Cops for Kids program? Or is it completely different? The program is out there just doing a community service, and they're going to show up whether the XYZ company supports the program as well.
We probably get hundreds of requests every year. Our only criteria is that there's some nexus to Anaheim, that there's some connection to our community's youth. Outside of that, we don't have any expectations of any donations or any kind of compensation. That's not what we want to teach the kids. Donations are appreciated. However, we want the kids to know that you put yourself out there and you give back to your community, without an expectation of return.
So in the past, well, we'll have to talk about this when we come back, but in the past, I think we've chatted a little bit about what the success levels are of the graduates. And maybe we can talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Also going to chat a little bit about your home equity can offset affordability. We'll chat about that. And we'll also get into what is debt relief. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Your home equity can offset affordability challenges. Are you thinking about selling your house? If so, Today's mortgage rates may be making you wonder if that's the right decision. Some homeowners are reluctant to sell and take on a higher mortgage rate on their next home. If you're worried about this too, know that even though rates are high right now, so is home equity. Here's what you need to know. Bankrate explains exactly what equity is and how it grows. Quote, home equity is a portion of your home that you've paid off or own outright. It's a difference between what the home is worth and how much is still owed on your mortgage. As your home's value increases over the long term and you pay down the principal on the mortgage, your equity stake grows, unquote. In other words, equity is how much you owe, your own, easy for me to say, how much your home is worth now minus what you still owe on your home loan. How much equity do homeowners have now? Recently, your equity has been growing faster than you might think. To help contextualize just how much the average homeowner has, CoreLogic says, quote, the average U.S. homeowner now has $290,000 in equity. That's a national number, probably higher here in Southern California. That's because over the past few years, home prices went up significantly, and those rising prices helped your equity to accumulate faster than usual. While the market has started to normalize, there are still more people wanting to buy homes than there are homes available for sale. This high demand is causing home prices to go up again. According to the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the Census, and ADAM, a property data provider, nearly two-thirds, 68.7% of homeowners have either fully paid off their mortgages or have at least 50% equity in their homes. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you can see the pie chart showing how much equity people have. That means nearly 70% of homeowners have a tremendous amount of equity right now. Home equity helps you with your affordability concerns. With today's affordability challenges, you can make a big difference when you decide to move. After you sell your house, you can use the equity you built up in your home to help you buy your next one. Here's how. Maybe you can be an all-cash buyer. If you've been living in your current home for a long time, you might even have enough equity to buy a new house without having to take out a loan. If that's the case, you won't need to borrow any money or worry about mortgage rates. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, states, quote, these all-cash home buyers are happily avoiding the high mortgage interest rates, unquote. Make a larger down payment. Your equity could be used toward your next down payment. It might even be enough to let you put a larger down payment so you don't have to borrow as much, so today's rates become less of a sticking point. Experian, quote, increasing your down payment lowers your principal loan amount and consequently your loan to value, which could lead to a lower interest rate off from your lender, unquote. Also, remember where the price breaks are on the loans. Don't go over a price break. Maybe you want to use that extra if you have some to buy down the interest rate. Just a thought. Bottom line, if you're thinking about moving, the equity you've built up may make a big difference, especially today. To find out how much equity you've got in your current house, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll chat about it. rsrmoney.com. They've got it right there for you as well. 4 different locations to find out how much equity you have. 4 different services. You've got 3 of them that are really good, and Zillow, because we know you're going to go there anyway. So rsrmoney.com show you how much equity or the value of your current property. It doesn't tell you the equity. The value of your current property, you have to deduct the amount of your mortgage. Again, that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, Sergeant Bob Conklin, Anaheim Police Department, is with us. We're chatting about Cops for Kids and a big event they've got coming up. We'll talk about that as well. But if you were listening to us in the last segment, I made a comment because you've been on, how many years in a row have you been on doing this with me? I don't know, 4 or 5 years?
4 years. So.
And one of the things I always love us getting into is, because I think we need a good place, a good positive role model. Some kids don't get the great role model that we wish they would have at home, and this can kind of be a surrogate. It doesn't replace a great home, I don't think, but it can kind of be a surrogate to put kids on a great path. And talk a little bit about where some of the kids end up going when they graduate the program.
Yeah, the Cops for Kids is supplementary to what the parents provide at home. The parents have to be an innovative part of it. A 14-year-old kid can't drive, so someone's got to get them to the meetings and the community events. So the parents do have to have a small part of it. So we do that in partnership with them. These kids don't know what they want to do, from day to day, and you never know where they're going to end up. But usually, they graduate high school and they move on to college, junior college, or a local UC or Cal State. A handful of them have chosen a military path. We bring in military recruiters from all the branches to give presentations to the kids, including the National Guard. And I'll tell you, the National Guard, even in high school, if I knew about it back then, I would have joined. It's phenomenal opportunities. And then we also, for those that want to choose the law enforcement path, once they turn 21, they're in college. They can join our police cadet program, a part-time job, and just learn more about the different facets of law enforcement.
It's great how it's kind of a stepping stone for those that really want to make use of the program like that. So it's a great idea, and I love the idea that I like the partnership concept.
Yeah, and we, like I said, we don't know everything. Our scope is law enforcement, but we want to deliver the message to the kids that's not the only thing out there. So we bring in a lot of private industry, a lot of other nonprofits to help teach them, the wide variety of opportunities that are available to them outside of high school.
Ironic enough, you're filling a void by design or or otherwise that unfortunately we've kind of lost in the schools. I asked my kids as they were going through school, did they have the military recruiters come in and do the vocational aptitude tests? And they don't do that anymore. I don't know about you, but when I was in high school last century, right? I think it was the Army came in and they did a vocational aptitude test. It wasn't a military, but said, hey, this is what based on this test, this is what you'd be good at. And, with you exposing them to these things, it might help.
Yeah. I mean, that and even some basic trade school education, we're pushing kids into college without letting them realize the variety of opportunities, well-established careers in a lot of these trade schools.
Preaching to the choir.
No,
I'm a big fan of that because I've got 3 sons. 2 of them are not college material.
Mm-hmm.
One of them at trade school is perfect. He's kind of doing an apprentice right now. The other one's a janitor over at Disneyland, just excelling.
Mm-hmm.
And one went to college, right? So it's not for everybody. We've gotten in our head that everyone has to go to college, and I don't believe that's the right path for everyone.
Yeah, and like I said, most of these kids, their bubble has always been Anaheim or whatever respective city they live in, and it's just expanding that bubble, letting them know that there are no bounds, there are no limits to what they can do. So we meet with them every week. We maintain that relationship over the course of, it could be 7 or 8 years. A lot of these kids go through enough struggles where, their family structure doesn't even last that long. So we try to provide that constant variable for them, and help them get to a successful path.
So one of the things I've watched with some of the nonprofits, one of them I really enjoy is an organization called Solutions for Change down in Vista. And they end up getting their graduates come back and help with the program. Do you see that happen at all?
Yeah, our kids, in fact, one example, he just went off to Army boot camp right out of high school, and he's going to come right back and maintain his position in the Explorer program and provide some leadership and example opportunities for the kids. But yeah, that is often.
That's a great path because, you're probably closer in age to them than I would be, right? So my kids, they don't, they'll listen to somebody else a lot quicker than they will to me or their peers, right?
Well,
somebody that just graduated, they're going to listen to them more than they're going to listen to you, listen to me.
And that's one of the things is we understand that, these kids don't understand the power of and the influence that they have on their peer group. We only have about 50, 60 kids in our program right now, but if we can convince, each one of those kids to have to convince their social group to make good decisions, not engage in criminal and gang behaviors, and to do the right thing, then we have exponentially just increased our impact on the community as a whole.
Yeah, you think about that one who tells one or one who tells 10 who tells 10.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that whole concept, you get 50 or 60 kids, if they can influence 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
And my guess is if you've got good kids there, which I'm sure the program is generating good kids, they're going to impact more than just 10.
Yeah, and we've partnered with our school resource officers. So now we've just started directly recruiting, whereas before it's been through, just simply word of mouth and siblings. But now our school resource officers are directly recruiting from the high schools and junior highs. They're looking for those kids that want that little extra level of responsibility that's going to make them much more competitive down the road.
Well, the other part of it is if you're a lousy athlete like me, right, it gives you another avenue of a place that you can excel in and be yourself and grow. Right. I mean, sports are a great thing, but if you have two left feet.
Yeah, and sports are phenomenal. Club memberships are phenomenal. The miracle is watching a 12-year-old step into the same environment as a 19-year-old. And it doesn't matter the background, the neighborhood they grew up in, what high school or junior high they go to. You put them in that paramilitaristic environment and you have an immediate bond. So it's an amazing chemistry to watch. And even the kids that are involved with athletics full time, right? You got your varsity baseball players and stuff like that. We accommodate your season schedule with the Explorer program.
When we come back, I want to talk about the event that's coming up, and also, is there an advantage if you've been an Explorer to getting into the cadet program? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, RSRNoDebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. RSRNoDebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to RSRNoDebt.com. RSRNoDebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you tuned in to listen about what is debt relief, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow. Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? What is debt relief? We'll talk about that tomorrow because I want to get back to chatting with Sergeant Bob Conklin, Anaheim Police Department. We're chatting about Cops for Kids and a great event. And it's one of my favorite. I go to a lot of events every year. This is one of my favorites. My wife and I just have a great time at this event coming up October 13th. It's at the River Arena once again. Is there going to be any room for people there? Because every time I go there, it's packed with people that want to support this program.
It is, and every year, like I said, we're blessed and we're grateful to the community and spreading this effort. Across the county.
I try every year to get you to spill the beans on what the story is going to be, and I never succeed.
It's difficult. There are probably 6 people that know what the presentation is going to be about. But
explain the high level as far as what would I expect when I go there at 4, and then what the presentation at 7.
Yeah, 4 to 7 p.m. We have a dozen or so food and drink vendors from across Orange County. A lot of them right here, mom and pop shops that are based here in Anaheim. They come in and they provide, food and beverages from 4 to 7. There will be, I think we have maybe 4 or 5 breweries showing up, some donated quality wines. And then from 7 to 9 is the presentation. Our homicide detail gets up on stage and gives you a live presentation as far as the details of a homicide investigation from beginning to end.
So the investigations that I've seen, every one of them so far have been things that I knew from watching the news what had happened, as far as a homeless guy that's killing people and they catch him at Carl's Jr. or whatever, right? So it's stuff that we all know about. But explain, like a couple, like last year's. What was last year? Do you remember last year's? Put him on the spot right now.
Yes. Yes.
So what was last year's?
Last year involved two really bad guys that were going around killing women. And
was that the one where they were killing the ladies on the boulevard? Yes. And then they found them in the Republic. They found trash bags and they had bodies at Republic Trash. And
yeah, and like I said, that one was tough because at the last minute the family members of the victims reached out to us and asked us to be part of it. And I
get chills when I hear that.
I know that was heartbreaking, and yet it was exhilarating in that they wanted to still have that connection with the Anaheim Police Department because we did such a good job with their investigation, and as well support our kid programs.
And the investigation sometimes, and there's so many times that we don't say thank you enough to the police department. And I'm a big proponent of doing everything we can for the men and women of the police departments, fire departments, all the law enforcement, because you guys all do such a great job out in the community, and we should all be more appreciative because you guys are going where we're running from.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's definitely a collaborative partnership with the community. We have to have that trust and quality relationship with the community in order for us to be successful. And this is one of those examples where, without the community support, without supporting this fundraiser, our youth programs go by the wayside. And then you've got a handful of kids, and again, potentially a bunch of generations that that they could otherwise have done better had they been part of a program like this.
Where do you go to get tickets for this event?
Eventbrite.com.
Eventbrite.com. Okay, so we'll set up a link on our website to go right to it as well. So there's always a lot of things. What does it cost?
It's $45. $45 all inclusive. If you want to throw some money in a tip jar while you're there, you can. But you also have the opportunity to participate in a silent auction. It's Anaheim. It's the resort area. We always have a lot of good quality, top quality silent auction donations from, hotels, resorts.
It's great. I bought. I think I've bought Ducks tickets there and Angel tickets there.
Yeah, our Anaheim City Council, our city government is donating a ton of Ducks tickets. I don't know where they sit. They sit in a box.
They're usually in the ones I had bought. They were in a suite.
Yeah, usually it's something like that.
Yeah, I mean they were great, and we're thankful for the city's support of the event.
Yeah,
and the community's support.
Yeah, every year the community forks over some quality merchandise, and city government supports 100%. But silent auction opportunities. But again, a live DJ will be out there. So again, it's just to have a good time. It's there to spotlight the explorers. You'll see all of them up on stage, and to spotlight the quality work of our homicide detectives.
Yeah, and it's a great event. I mean, if you've never seen it, what is it? It's kind of like I refer to it maybe, and I don't know, maybe it's the right or wrong answer, but it's what I do anyway. It's kind of like a live 48 hours.
Yeah,
it's done in 2 hours though.
Yeah, right, exactly. And you're going to learn some intimate details about the investigation that you haven't heard from any other media source.
Well, if 1 year, and it might have been last year, it might have been before that. 1 year they had to hold back a few details because it was so new that some of the trials hadn't all concluded. So it's great information.
And we ensure that we get permission from the victims' families, and we try to make sure that we're not going to hinder any future court processes. But yeah, sometimes we have to hold those details back because these folks that get convicted of homicide, their cases can go on for decades.
And if you're into watching any of the police shows on TV or 48 Hours or some of these things, it's fascinating when you listen to the homicide detectives tell it, because it's not actors. This is the actual detectives that were on the case.
Right, the actual detectives. And I mean, there's a script, right, and that's just to help keep the efficiency and time management of the show. But at the same time, I mean, you're these detectives, they're real people. They're standing there, they're telling you the true story and how it impacts all of our officers from the initial patrol response all the way until adjudication.
Pretty great. It's a pretty great event. I mean, it's like I say, it's one of my favorites every year. Not only to support the police department, the police officers, show respect, but it's a great cause and it's a great organization. So go to Eventbrite, and we'll put up a link on our website. But it's October 13th. It's at the River Arena on Broadway in Anaheim. Nice venue over there, and they use the whole parking lot and across the street. Last time, I think they used the parking lot across the street and the street area, because there's a lot of people come to it.
Yeah, it's fortunately, like I said, we're blessed, and fortunately, it's grown significantly. So, that we have a couple parking structures that are within really close walking distance. Outside of that,
Uber works too.
Uber works, yeah.
and if you want to leave a little extra money there to support the program, once you see the event, I think a lot of people may find that maybe they want to leave an extra few bucks, if you can afford it, to help out this program.
Yeah, it's a real easy cause to support. I mean, there's the funds go in two directions. One to the youth programs, and the other one goes to the Orange County Homicide Investigators Association Victim Support Fund. It doesn't get any purer than that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it goes to the Victim Support Fund as well.
Yeah, we give a portion of it to that association, and again, they help support in a myriad of ways victims of violent crimes.
And it's amazing because, like as you mentioned, when the family was there, the family of the victims, they were there basically saying that there was no voice for these victims, and other than the detectives and the police department, that was really the only voice that these people had, because they had kind of gotten into the lower end of our society.
Yeah, and that was tough, and for the family to be there, and like I said, anybody that attended that Anaheim Confidential.
You didn't walk out with chills. You don't have any blood in your.
It's tough to talk about, but yeah, it definitely impresses on how strong the connection is between the police department and the Anaheim community.
Now, with the presentation, we only got about a minute left, but with the presentation that goes on, is this a place for kids?
I would be cautious on bringing your little kids to this thing. Again, the content is for mature audiences. Again, we're talking about a homicide investigation. This is not edited like it is on 48 Hours of Dateline or whatever on TV. This is the real deal. So,
and it's fun listening to some of the interactions between the homicide detectives also. One of them was the one that had the squeaky shoes or big shoes or tight shoes or something like that. Or
yeah, you're gonna get some real life banter between the audience and the presenters. So it's like I said, this is as personable and as real as it gets.
It's a fun program. Again, October 13th, Anaheim Confidential, River Arena, $45 on Eventbrite. Spend more, donate more. Go in, and if you don't win at the silent auction, whatever you planned on spending at the silent auction, put that in the jar at the end and donate that anyway, because you may not have been wanting really that signed autograph, or may not need it, but this will really help the program. Again, October 13th, River Arena in Anaheim, Anaheim Confidential. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.